Hello, I'm Jeff Moore with Environmental Power and Water Generation. We've been getting a lot of interest about our new solar generators that we've just brought into the market. It is a 6,000 watt 50 amp system and a 12,000 watt 100 amp system, which gives you the ability to now run the larger loads in your home that you've been wanting to run. Now, why are we different from a regular gasoline generator? What most people don't understand is when the grid goes down, gas stations go down. So that's why you see the long lines of people out there with their 1 gallon gas cans all trying to get gasoline because the gas station doesn't have any electricity. Now, a solar generator is totally different. What it does is it gives you the ability to get your energy from the sun. Now, we have done things a lot different than other solar generators because we want to be the industry standard. I'm going to explain to you real quick on our systems what we do to make them different. First of all, most solar generators give you a panel. It's usually somewhere between 130 watts and 200 watt 12 volt panels. What we give you are 275 watt 30 volt panels. And the reason we do that is because by partnering those with our maximum power point tracker, what we're able to do is give you the ability to run the inverter while you're charging the batteries, which means when the batteries are charged, you're able to run off the panels during the day. Now, the other thing that we do that other companies don't do, when they send you a solar panel, they send you a solar panel with no way to mount it, no way to point it, no way to follow the sun. So you've got this big 58-pound panel that you're trying to get out somewhere and try to point it at the sun. Well, what are you supposed to do? Lean it against a tree? That's not going to give you the generation you need. What we did was give customers our proprietary solar carts. What these are rolling solar carts that are on 6 wheels that give you the ability to easily move the panel during the day so that you can follow the sun. So if you've got sunlight in one part of your yard during one part of the day in the morning and say sunlight somewhere else in the afternoon, you simply roll it over to where you have the sunshine. It has up to 100 feet of cable. The other thing that we did is we gave customers the ability to have manual tracking so that they can follow the sun through the day to maximize their generation. So you're going to ask me, Jeff, how does it work? Well, if you just want to set it and forget it, you set it at 30 degrees just like it is right now. You point it straight south and you walk away. The system will recharge with 6 panels in 4 to 5 hours. But let's say you've got a long-term power outage and you need to generate every watt possible. If this were up on your house, you would generate most of your electricity between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. With our system, what it gives you the ability is by simply coming out, pulling a pin, and moving the panel and putting the pin back in, you now have the ability to follow the sun through the day, which means from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. you have the ability to generate electricity, meaning that our system will produce twice as much energy as other solar generators. But we don't stop there. The other thing that we do is we give you what's known as maximum power point tracking. Now I want to go over the system real quick and give you some information on it. In environmental powered water generation, we use only pure sine wave inverters. Now the reason we do that is because modified sine wave inverters are not safe for sensitive electronics, meaning that almost everything today has a computer chip in it. If you're using modified sine wave with your sensitive electronics, basically what you're doing is you're playing Russian roulette with your electronics. What our system does is it exactly matches the type of electricity that you're going to get off the grid, meaning that it is safe for all of your electronics. But the other thing that we've done is we have made these systems so that they are safe and reliable, because if you look at most other solar generators, they do not provide a lot of the components that you would have to have if this were a standalone solar system. So let me first start with our maximum power point tracking. What this does, as I've said, is it gives us the ability to not only charge the batteries while we're running the inverter, but it also gives us the ability to generate much better efficiencies, anywhere from 25 to 40%, because it compensates for things like shading and for low temperature and high temperature, increasing the amperage, meaning that you're charging the batteries faster. Now, if you come over to this side, I want to show you, we have on our systems dedicated breakers for each pair of solar panels. If this were a standalone system, you would have to, by law, have one of these on your system. Most solar generators don't have anything like this. Now if you watch, I'm going to turn this on, that blue light comes on. What that is a lightning surge protector, meaning that it is shielding the system so that if you have a lightning surge to the panels, you're not going to burn out your system. The other thing that we have is the master DC control box, which has the breakers that you need so that you can shut down the system if it needs to be worked on. This is also required if you have a standalone system. Now, come on back over here. The other thing that we did was sometimes people can't afford to go with 6 panels and 6 batteries. So we wanted to be able to give them the ability to add on to the system if they needed to. By putting these individual breakers on the inside, what you're able to do is simply push the button, the breakers will pop. Now you're able to work on the system without having the risk of getting any kind of electrical shock. The other thing that we've done is we have given you the ability to charge off of the grid. That's what this box is. And what it does is it gives you the ability to plug the system into the grid to recharge it, meaning that this is a giant UPS. You don't have to use the solar panels. But if you have a long-term power outage, then you simply roll the panels out, you plug them into the combiner box that we have on this side, you flip the breakers, and now you're able to produce electricity. On this side, we have the Ames display. It will show you right now that on the system we have 245 to 248 watts coming in, 227 going, volts coming in, 227 going out. We also have the Morning Star display, which gives you the ability to see exactly how much the panels are generating. Why that's important is because if you push that and you see, well, I'm only producing like maybe 300 watts off of the panels, then that means I can go out and move the panels a little bit to line it up with the sun, make a little bit of an adjustment, and now you're producing the 500 watts that each of the panels are rated for. As I've said, these are 275 watt panels at 30 volts, so if you put 2 of them together, well, that's 540 watts for each one. Now, the other thing that we do is we use only gel cell batteries. The reason is gel cell batteries are the safest batteries on the market. They are 100% maintenance free. Now, I know I'm going to get those people on the internet that say, Jeff, how can you say that this is the safest battery? All right, guys, here's how. Number one, these are the only batteries that are approved for transport by air. You can't do it with lead acids, you can't do it with AGMs, you sure as heck can't do it with lithium ions. These batteries not only can be transported by air, they are much, much longer lasting. They last 50% longer than standard batteries. Standard AGM batteries are rated at about 2,000 cycles. These batteries are rated at 3,500 cycles, meaning that they're going to last 50% longer. But by doing the system the way we have, instead of your system cycling 5, 6, 7 times a day, because we're able to run the inverter while we're charging the batteries, you cycle the batteries once a day, meaning that cumulatively over time, these batteries are going to last much longer. How much longer? Well, instead of the average 2 to 4 years of other solar generators, these batteries can last anywhere from 5, 6, 8, up to 10 years by how much they're cycling, because they're cycling less. On this side, we have the alternating current breaker box. If you look in here, you'll see that we've got 3 breakers. One of them right now is powering the 120 volt plug, one of them is powering the 220 volt plug, and the other one is a breaker for charging off the grid. Now you'll notice we have a breaker in this also. That's there as an additional protection. That way, if you get an electrical surge off the grid, you're not going to fry your system. The breaker will simply trip. Now, what I'd like to do is give you guys a quick demonstration, because everybody's always asking me, Jeff, can you show me what it'll run? This is going to get very loud. What I have is 2 7-amp drills, a 8-amp grinder, a 5-amp saw, another 5-amp saw down there. This is a resistance heater that gets up to 15 amps. I also have this going. This is the 230 pump, and it's just running right now. Now I'm going to plug these in for just a minute to show you what they'll do. Do not do this at home. We have set this up so it will be safe for demonstration purposes. I don't want to hear about anybody getting hurt because they tried to do the same thing. All right, this is going to get loud. I'm only going to leave it on for a few seconds, and then I'll come back and tell you more about the system. So here we go. By the way, I'm not a good dancer. That was my version of the hokey pokey. Anyway, people are always asking me, okay, Jeff, you show me a run. How long will it run all of that stuff? Well, let me give you a great example. If I plug all this stuff in, I could run it for over 8 hours. In fact, for people that are electrical people, let me give you an explanation. This system at 24 volts has 775 amp hours of storage. It has a total storage capacity of 145,000 watts at 50 amps, which means I can run a portable welder with this thing for 8 hours. What does that mean to you, the customer? What it means is you can take your dedicated loads, and if you don't want to run electrical cords, we give you the manual transfer switch that allows you to be able to not backfeed the grid, and a Reliance generator box so that you can put it in, you can have the electrician put it into your existing box. Then you pick the dedicated loads that you want to run in your house. Most people will pick their HVAC, their kitchen, their living room, and the master bedroom. All right, you have a long-term power outage. Now you're going to be able to run those seamlessly. You don't have to run any electrical cords. Now, you have to have an electrician come in and do that, but because we provide all of those with the systems, we're avoiding you having to pay a bunch of costs on the back end from somebody that's trying to upsell you. We're going to be posting some longer videos, some more detailed explanations, but I need people to understand this is the safest, longest lasting, most powerful solar generator on the market today. We are becoming the industry standard. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to give value to our customers. How can I say that? All right, let me give you a quick example. Most solar generators on the market, if they qualify for the federal incentives, which this system does, will give you an average cost of somewhere between $2.65 a watt all the way up to $4.50 a watt. After the federal incentive, this system runs $1.22 a watt. They don't have pure sine wave inverters, they don't have MPPT, they don't have gel cell batteries. A lot of times, they don't up the voltage on the systems. They try to make everything a 12-volt system, which means you would have to have 2 of these great big cords going into that inverter, meaning that all you're doing is most of your electricity is going into this cord. It's not going into your system. By us stepping up the voltage to a 24-volt system for the 50 amp and a 48-volt system for the 100 amp, we're able to keep the wiring sizes smaller, keeping the system much more efficient. All right, if you want to check out more about our solar generator, you can go to our website on YouTube, E3Wise on YouTube. You can check out our website, which is www.e3wise.com. That's the letter E, number 3, WISE.com. Or just give us a call. Our phone number is area code 954-964-2493. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Folks, I'm tired of seeing systems out there that are substandard, that don't provide the amount of power, that don't give you the ability to run off the inverter while you're charging the batteries. We want people to have the most efficient, best systems on the market, and we're putting our money where our mouth is. We will not compromise to make more money and give people lesser quality. If you look at the amount that we make on each system, most systems, they will increase the cost by anywhere from 100 to 200%. We have not done that. That's why these systems are so much less expensive than others. Now, let me make clear,